third world, and what was once upon a time the hardest world in the game, seems to have a recurring theme of domination. Many of the plants are hard hitters, and the majority of the plants have very good plant food effects. At the end of the world is what was, at the time, the most expensive plant in the game. So, once you get to this point, it's good to come up with some good farming sun strategies. As with all videos in this series, plants are ranked based on effectiveness in its own world, other worlds, sun cost, and how well it holds up against similar plants. Let's go! At 7 is the lightning reed. This plant is good for one thing in particular, easily vanquishing chickens, which is pretty much why the plant is introduced. Therefore, it has very limited use in other worlds, except modern day if you get chickens in there. One reed can struggle to kill a regular zombie at times, and although it could be used as a support plant, there are so many plants that do that job better, and in my opinion it is the worst range plants in the game. So, an obvious bottom spot for the reed. 6 is the Peapod. Some people are a big fan of this plant due to its firepower, and I understand that, but I find it too costly to use well because at level 1 it costs 625 sun just to get 5 heads. And that's just for one lane. It is, however, very useful to use on minecarts, making it a good plant in Wild West. Another aspect of it that can't be ignored is its great plant food power. Additionally, since it can be planted on itself, it eliminates the need to use multiple offensive plants in one lane, so if planting space is an issue, i.e. mould colony levels, or the presence of many graves, it may be considered. From one pea shooting plant to another, as next up is the split pea. Much like the last two on the list, it's much better in Wild West than in other worlds because it's given as a counter to prospector zombies. It fulfills this role very well because its backhead is essentially a repeater. Outside, it kind of has limited use. It may be used against front shielding zombies if planted behind them, but I find this to be a poor strategy as it can easily get eaten or destroyed by zombies in front of it. It is good to use in Jurassic Marsh levels with pterodactyls and big wave beach levels with octopus zombies, because the octopus can't disable plants from behind. Another drawback is that it feels a bit useless once you get Wintermelon if you're using it to counter prospectors, because they can just defuse the dynamite. 4 is the Tornup. Although it could be argued it's not very cost effective, considering it's twice as tough as the walnut but costs more than twice the walnut, see my Pirate Seas video on the spike rock for more information. It's the toughest plant in the game, which surely raises it a few. One issue I do have with the plant is the poor time it's given to you. It's promoted as a counter to imps launched by zombie balls, but by the time you unlock it, there's only one more regular level with balls. Not even the boss stage has it. It has a lot more blocking use later on though, such as bug, jetpack and balloon zombies. You could argue infinite plant food is a much better counter to these, but that plant itself is pretty weak in comparison, so Tornup can often be the better pick. In the top 3 we go, and first up is the chili bean. Talk about a plant that has a turbulent history. In the old days it could kill multiple zombies at once, and for some reason pianist zombies. Then a few years ago it got glitched, so it rarely works at all. But now it's just a typical one shot, one zombie instant kill. Its best comparison is to the squash. Squash works on every zombie, while the bean is limited to eating zombies that aren't machines. But chili bean can kill every eligible zombie, while a few like Brickhead Zombie can survive a squash, especially in Arena when they gain more health as the game goes on, because Chili Bean is guaranteed to kill any zombie that eats it. While Chili Bean is arguably the weaker of the two, it's an easy plant to obtain, especially because it's free, and don't forget its gas that immobilises zombies behind it. I say that, yet I did forget that till I wrote it down here, lol. The top 2 is kinda predictable, isn't it? Well, nevertheless, the melon pole takes a runner-up. Taking the cabbage bolt and doing more damage, as well as of course splash damage, the melon is a very powerful offensive lead plant. Although it can be difficult to set up early due to its relatively high sun cost, it's a great plant to use in virtually every world. The only real downside is that its plant food is somewhat weaker than the cabbage pulse because it doesn't guarantee a hit on every zombie, although it's devastating when used on mountains of zombies and a very good plant all in all. And number 1 is the Wintermelon. Take everything I said about the melon pole, but then add a chilling effect to slow the foes down. Obviously its power comes with a cost, literally, 500 sun, but due to its chilling effect, it can be good to just plant them in the 2nd and 4th columns, if you can't accumulate enough sun. Although if you're fortunate enough to have the gold bloom, it's less of an issue. It's always a good thing when the last plant unlocked in the world is the best, because it makes the blood, sweat and tears worth it. And because in the first 4 worlds, completing the penultimate level gives you a plant. And that's why Wintermelon is basically the king of plants. that's my Pirate Series list. Click on the videos in the end screen to watch another from this series. Thanks for watching, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already.